119 of Geeks Who Like Sports. As always, I am Ray Carsillo in Los Angeles, California, doing the rest of the entire world, legalized in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are once again live on Twitch. If you're listening to us after the fact, we are happy that you are listening to us, or happy to listen to us at all. Lee, how are you doing today, buddy?
Ray, someone tried to poison me with a hot dog today.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say
most
who.
Sacred of American foods?
I'm not going to say who, but I was almost poisoned today by a hot dog. The intentions were good. I got very ill, and I said, I've got to pull it together for Ray in the show tonight. I laid down. I made a lot of weird sounds, and I'm here. I did it. I made it. But that shows you no one stops Geeks Who Like Sports. Not COVID and not poisonous hot dogs. I am here, and I'm ready to go.
Yes.
I was really sick. I'm not kidding. I was not feeling well for about an hour and a half, and I pulled it together. I said, if I can do a show with COVID, I can do a show after a dangerous hot dog.
How is it dangerous? Was it undercooked? Was it
like old. It was old as hell?
Oh, yeah. You gotta be careful with that. You might that's a death sentence there. But we'll talk about we'll be talking about a lot of deaths shortly.
I survived it.
Yes, you did survive. Ready. Yes, which might not be able to be said about our first topic, but first give a quick rundown. We've got a big show for you. We got baseball, football, Olympics. We've got wrestling. We've got a lot of good stuff. We've got a little bit of soccer.
A lot of good geek reviews today too. Like for those of you who like geek stuff, this is going to be a really great review episode.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff to go on. But we got Spiderman stuff. We got What If. We've got Sonic. We've also got what we're kicking off. Speaking about death or just barely surviving, it is our spoiler cast for the Suicide Squad. Yeah, from DC. Honestly, for a lot of folks who are out there saying this is God's gift to comic book movies, this is the greatest comic book movie ever, I'm going to say this. It was a good movie, and that's it. I think that so many people out there have seen so much garbage from DC for so long that a good movie, by comparison, looks like amazing. James Gunn did what he's known for, which is doing a great job with ensemble pieces. Everybody got their time to shine. There were a couple of points where I thought the movie dragged. I think the best moments were spoiled in the trailer. But overall, I think it was a good movie, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here because, again, this is our spoiler cast. The big thing is that it is also at the very end setting up the Peacemaker TV show on HBO Max starring John Cena. And I can't wait for it because I think Cena might have had the best performance out of everybody on this. Lee, what are your thoughts on the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it was fun. DC fans are so desperate for a hit. We've said this before, raise your standards. That was a good, fun film. It's basically Guardians of the Galaxy, but rated R. That's what it was.
Yes.
Exactly. So I do want to give James Gunn credit for this. It's being reported that the original villain in this was Superman. Ironically enough, that's what the villain is of the video game. It looks like, Under Control. But I give him a lot of props for picking Starro. I mean, we did know it was going to be him.
Yeah.
But look, he went out there. He had fun with it. This is something that Marvel actually can't do. Okay, which is why I kind of admire that he did it. But I'm going to say, we've said this, I think, over 20 episodes now. When Dwayne Johnson becomes Black Adam, that is going to change the DC universe for the foreseeable future. That is their end game. That is what they want to do. That is their big stake or rod in the ground to change the DC movies. Okay, this was a fun movie. It was on the same level for me as Shazam. It was fun. Greatest comic book film of all time. I don't think it even ranks in my top 10. I'm going to be really honest with you.
No, I agree.
Most fun?
I agree.
Sure. It would be in my most fun of all time. All right. Like top 10.
Yeah.
But greatest of all time? I mean, look, no. All right. But it was fun. It's definitely worth a watch. I don't know if I'd rewatch it. Some really funny scenes that I'd like to rewatch, like when they go through the refugee camp. And other parts of it. But like, look, this is what happened. They let James Gunn loose and he went loose and it was fun. That was it. Peacemaker, obviously, as you said, just unbelievably fun character. I compared him to Anakin Skywalker on our page, which makes a lot of sense. Once you see it, he kill every man, woman, and child to make peace. I know another guy named Anakin Skywalker who's willing to do that. But yeah, it was fun. Probably 7.2 out of 10. Enjoyable. but not the greatest film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, I think it's a solid 7. I give it a 7 even. I think it's good. I think it's fun, right? That's kind of where we put Godzilla versus Kong, right? Kind of mindless, turn your brain off, not think too much. There were some good moments, like you said, some moments that really stood out. Like I think I agree. The refugee camp, where basically Peacemaker and Bloodsport basically kind of get into a contest.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And then I think
the opening was great. The opening was a great twist too.
It was a great swerve there at the opening where they basically, again, spoiler alert, but this is again the first 5 minutes. Everybody from the original team basically gets killed off, except for Flag and Harley, and Flag bites it later. I think that my only problem with it was there were a couple of slow points. Specifically, I think that the whole Harley scene with the dictator was a bit drawn out. Yeah, and it took a bit too long.
And you knew how it was going to end. It was too predictable. Like it was great to see Starro. It was fun. It's just, again, guys, like I gotta call out the DC fans again. You're comparing that against Infinity War. You're comparing that against Endgame. Hell, you're comparing that against Guardians.
Even within your own, I was gonna say, but even within your own property, like you're gonna say that's better than the first 2 Nolan Batmans.
You're gonna say that's better than 89 Batman.
That's what I'm saying. It's better than Batman 89. Like, I'm sorry. Like you're completely off base here. You reek of desperation. Desperation comics. That's what DC stands for now.
I hate to say it. I don't know why. Again, I'm a fan of DC comics. I'm not a diehard, but what I don't understand is just I don't understand that no one's told me why they love the Batfleck universe. Nobody's told me why they love. They just go, "Oh, it's so great! It's so great!" It's just like, okay, but why?
Why?
Well, it's great.
Like,
if I ask a Marvel fan why it's great,
because they got the Frank Miller costume right. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I don't get it either. There's nothing there to me. And like, I think this was the best, probably along with, I would say, Man of Steel and the first Wonder Woman. This is probably, if this is part of that universe, this was the 3rd best in that universe, I would say, behind those 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Man of Steel, I really loved. You know that. I really enjoyed Man of Steel. That's about it. I mean, Shazam, again, Shazam's kind of on its own. Like Shazam could survive a multiverse.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll see.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, so that's our thoughts on Suicide Squad. Hello to everybody in chat. A couple of folks have been popped in. Hello, Sensei. Gucci wants us to talk about Bad Batch. We will talk about that in a bit. That is going to be. You
can watch Bad Batch with us. All 16 episodes.
Yes, at streamlounge.io. They're all. You can watch all the replays. We give live commentary over it at streamlounge.io. We should talk about Bad Batch. I'll stick that in a bit. But first, we're talking about Suicide Squad. We talk about Idris Elba. Did a great job as Bloodsport. He did. Everybody gave great performances, by the way. Everybody gave great performances. Polka Dot Man had some great moments as well. I think everybody did a really, really great job with it in terms of acting. But this was big news. Idris Elba is going to voice Knuckles in the Sonic 2 movie. And I am all for this, Lee. I think this is a fantastic casting. I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to, Knuckles is always the serious kind of hard ass kind of, it's all about got to protect the Chaos Emeralds. I think he will be a perfect foil to the comedic Sonic that we're expecting in this film.
Yeah, I mean, unless Shadow's around.
I don't think they're there yet.
If Shadow the Hedgehog's around, it could change things quite a bit. No, look, I love Idris Elba. There's nothing he's done that I actually haven't loved. So the more he can get into these things, the better. He deserves it. He's a great actor, and he's not new to voice acting. Obviously, he was in the Bunny movie, which is why am I blanking on the name of that Bunny movie he was in? Zootopia. Oh. Sorry. He was in Zootopia. Yes. He did a great job in that. He'll do just as good a job in this. So anything, I'll take as much Idris Elba, however he wants to be known, as there is. In fact, like he's so good that I'm hearing a lot of rumors he's going to show back up in Thor now moving forward because Heimdall. Heimdall, yeah, right. I think he's going to show back Heimdall, up. Yeah. Look, remember the multiverse lets anybody come back, including Scarlett Johansson's Disney career could come back if they really wanted it to.
If they really wanted to, if that $30 million lawsuit suddenly disappeared, but that's not going to probably happen. So, so that kind of that relationship ended on bad terms. Speaking of bad things, that brings us. Let's talk really quick about. And speaking of Disney, the Bad Batch finale season 1 ended. We'll throw that in there. Sensei says in chat it's his favorite piece of Star Wars media, and he will die on that hill. Well, Sensei, that is going to be a very lonely hill for you, because I could not disagree more with that.
Wait. What hill is this? Let's talk to Sensei here a little bit. I'll explain it for the people listening to this on replay. Sensei, when you say favorite piece of Star Wars media, are you saying all of Star Wars, the entire lexicon, animated Star Wars? Either way, you're not going to win this one, but let me know what you're thinking, because I am a Star Wars kind of expert on the show. Ray, you're an expert too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. The whole thing, he says the whole schmageggle.
Wow. Yeah.
Sensei, you're going to have to back that up. Here's what I'll say about the Bad Batch. It was a pretty cool story. It's going to set up some cool things. It wasn't bad by any means, but it was bloated. A lot of episodes we didn't need to have. Keeping in mind too, this is probably a kid show. It's made for a younger audience, so they have to fill the 8-16 episodes. It's not lost on us. But as a Star Wars fan, obviously, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but the introduction of Omega, as we always say, Omega is going to be very big, probably in Book of Boba Fett. We think she's going to show up.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
We hope she does. And the Bad Batch, your friend over here. No, Ray and I've been working on those accents quite a bit, but Wrecker.
Yeah, we got Wrecker, and then we got Hunter. Hunter, he's gonna go hunt things because I've got to protect Omega, and it's safer for you here on the ship.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we do a pretty darn good answer this. So Sensei, I don't know, Sensei.
And then you've got Gregor,
right?
Who talks like this for some reason. I'm Gregor. We're gonna get off the planet.
So again, it gets a 6.5 for me. It was okay. I mean, there were seasons of the Clone Wars that were way better than that in terms of the entire lexicon. It's not on the level of some of the other stuff that we've done. But Sensei says I absolutely love the main batch. They're really fun to watch, to do crazy stuff. Also, Wrecker counts for like 90% of the show's goodness. Wrecker was a lot of fun.
Comedy relief. Yeah, he's the comedy relief, for sure, no doubt. Yeah, no, definitely. Wrecker is great. I'm gonna go a little more harsh than you. I'm gonna say 5.5 for Bad Batch season 1. Again, I think the biggest thing is it was bloated. It could have been half as many episodes and been just as impactful. I think for us, they kind of left on a cliffhanger, and I think for us. Again, this is for us. Like we mentioned, it is for children. We are not the target audience, but as diehard Star Wars fans, we do feel we should have an opinion, and we definitely have an opinion. And it just didn't resonate with us as something like The Mandalorian did. Right. And hopefully Book of Boba Fett that's coming out in December.
Here's the deal.
You can also watch with us on Streamlines.
The Bad Batch is Dave Filoni's playground. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. But again, I think it just sets up things like the biggest thing in the show. And I actually said this live in the commentary. The biggest reveal in the show, aside from Omega being Boba Fett's pretty much twin sister, was at the very end. We saw the Imperial clone scientist. She had the same uniform on as the clone scientist in The Mandalorian. That's a pretty straight connection, among other things in the show. But
we saw the transition more into the Empire. We saw the clone trooper armor get closer to stormtrooper armor.
Right. The birth of the stormtrooper.
The phasing out of the clone troopers, which was a big deal. So in terms of the grand Star Wars thing, there were a couple of big beats. Yeah. No, for sure.
It was very, very okay in a Star Wars way. It's just the problem I have with the animated series, guys, is they just have a hard time taking it to the next level because it's for kids. Like again, they couldn't even let the droid die in the last episode, which was kind of crazy, So anyway, good story, good connection, but it's just gonna fill in the blank for me. It's not going to be a major thing. So we'll see where they go, Sensei, but 16 episodes, it's just too many.
It was a lot. And at this point for us, it was not integral to Star Wars. Right. So, but something that might be integral as time goes on, moving into our next Marvel or Disney property, Marvel What If debuted this week, episode 1. There's also rumors that there might be 9 episodes, not 10.
10.
I've heard, but
I've heard 10.
Is it 10? It is
officially
Nobody
10 now. What if? What if?
Yeah, what if?
I can't tell you.
For those of you who don't know, What If, of course, was a comic book series in the 90s that kind of asked the question, what if? What if these key things in the Marvel universe played out just slightly differently, and how things different? And this first episode, of course, is a fantastic one. It's Captain Carter. What if Peggy Carter basically got the super soldier serum and became Cap? And there's this whole really cool thing where Steve Rogers then becomes the first Iron Man. Howard Stark builds the Mark One. It's 20 years before, 50 years, depending on what timeline you're in, that Tony did. It was really, really well done. But the big three things is that they basically confirm that these are new realities that the Watcher is watching. And they're also hinting at, and I hope they do this, a great storyline from the comics, which is the Watcher interfering somehow. But those are the two. But the biggest thing is that these are new realities. It is part of the multiverse. These could happen. There's already rumors that the Peggy Carter that was in the background of episode 1 of Loki was actually a variant Peggy Carter or Captain Carter potentially. There's rumors now flying that we'll have a live action Captain, that some of these characters will return in live action with the multiverse. That is the biggest thing. But I will say this was a lot of fun. It was a half hour. They recreated some key moments from from Captain America, the first Avenger. But with Peggy, they basically turned it on its head. I thought it was a really, really fun half hour. And the animation was spectacular. Classic Disney animation. They did it beautifully.
Well, you really summed it up there, Ray. I agree with everything you said. No, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And that's the key. It's fun. And it was kind of, what's happening. They did a great job of understanding that we probably know these characters. And then, the little fun Easter eggs and little long callbacks along the way. It was fun. A lot of fun comic book stuff this past week.
Yeah. No, it was.
Would you rate it? I would give that a solid 8 for a first episode.
First episode, I would say 7.5. I'd say it's a 7.5.
I'd say
yeah. No, that's
we probably should create what is a 10 at some point, but no, it was high on the scale. I would say it was high on the scale. All right, you got a 7.5 out of 10, and I say it's 8 out of 11. Okay, fine. But never 7-11, but 8 out of 11.
Never 7-11. No,
unless it's Slurpee, in which case you can be whatever you want.
Yeah, or you got to run and get some lotto tickets or something.
Now I want a Slurpee. Now I want a Slurpee. I shouldn't have done that to myself.
Yeah,
to myself. I did. Yeah. I would love to be sponsored by Slurpee. That would make me the happiest in the world. 7-Eleven. Hi, my name's Lee Elias, and this is my testimonial to you. We will be your official Slurpee spokespeople, and all 5 people watching this right now, and the millions and millions of listeners at home will enjoy a Slurpee snack because you sponsored us. That's use code GEEK at 7eleven.org, and you can get yourself a free Slurpee.
One day, maybe one day. Fingers crossed. Maybe.
Let me go to 7eleven.org real quick and see what that is. That could be dangerous. Hold on. Here we go. 7.
Maybe in a different universe. We would have that
loading. Nope, can't find the server. Woo! Dodge the bullet this way. There you go.
But maybe in a different universe, we'll have 7-Eleven as a sponsor. And speaking of different universes, supposedly, again, I've been saying this all along. I really think they're going to stick it in front of Shang-Chi. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer supposedly leaked. And if it is true,
we can't tell.
And we can't tell. Confirms everything that a lot of us have been talking about. I mean, it could have been very well edited. You can't really tell from the leaked footage, but it looks like Doc Ock is there. It looks like obviously older Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are there. It looks like everything we would want and expect from a Spider-Man multiverse movie, that all the rumors are true. There will be a Green Goblin there.
Yep, I can't confirm or deny it. That's what I'll say. Ray, I did see a longer cut of it, and the first half of it's a little but I who knows, right? That I'll tell you what, that's the trailer we want. I can tell you that. That's the trailer we want to see. But I cannot tell if it's real or not. But if it's fake, it is very well done. It's one of the better fan trailers I've ever seen. I'll put it that way. But it was fun. It got me excited.
Much like the dude who got a job for doing the deep fake of Luke Skywalker. Whoever cut this trailer should get a job from Disney as well.
Really good. It was really
they did a really great job with it for sure. I for one am hopeful this is the true trailer, but we don't know.
It literally gave me Spidey sense. I mean, the hair on my arm stood up, and I got like butterflies in my stomach. Now, the problem is that could create a false positive, if you know what I'm trying to say. Of like,
yes.
But I mean, it tells me how much I learned how much I want to see that when I saw that trailer.
Yeah, and the hope is that it does hold to its December release date. Because that is definitely, I've been waiting for this movie now for a long time. All the movies that have been delayed.
Yeah, look, I'll say this is the most anticipated comic book film of all time. I'd say even more than Endgame at this point. Again, we've talked about this on the show before. People underestimate how big Spider-Man is opposed to Marvel. When it comes to Marvel, I think we've talked about this. There are only really 2 characters, maybe 3 that could stand completely on their own. But this is how we always said it, right? There's 3 entities within Marvel. There's the Avengers universe, there's the X-Men universe, and there's Spider-Man on his own.
Yeah.
He is the most popular comic book character in Marvel by far.
For sure.
Probably,
For sure.
he rivals Superman and Batman, for lack of a better comparison.
I agree.
He's up there.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. He is the flagship. He is the franchise. Yeah. He is the top dog in Marvel. Yeah. I think that's unequivocal, for sure. But again, hopefully it's not delayed anymore, because this also broke. Speaking of Spider-Man and the movie delays, Venom 2 got delayed another month. It got pushed back to October.
I think people are starting now. I think they saw today it was pushed back again.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you again. Is it just with the movie?
I don't know. The thing is, they want COVID to go away, and the thing is I have a feeling that it's only going to get worse as we move into the winter. So
I agree.
We'll see what happens here, but it's getting delayed because I don't think it has anything to do with the film. I think it has everything to do with them trying to get people back in the theater.
Oh, I agree. Last I heard, and everything I seeing here is that it's still October, but still moving it back from September to October again, because they want to try and wait out COVID. I don't think it's gonna happen. Like you said, I don't think it's gonna happen. Battle. I think at this point, I think that, and again, I think this is also part of the reason why I don't know why Disney, and I get there's contracts, all this other stuff, but like much like HBO Max, the best thing about HBO Max is that, and what HBO is doing, and like what that it's selling itself, is that for people like me who would prefer to still not go to the movie theater, I would prefer to watch the movies at home, is that it's day and day. And I watched Suicide Squad day and day. As soon as it came out, I watched it.
Look, I'll tell you this too, and this is the funny problem that's going to happen is, because that's happening with Venom. They're talking about it with Shang-Chi right now, and they are not happy about that over at the Shang-Chi area. The actors are upset about it not being in the theater. At the same time, I look over at Amazon. I can't remember which movie, but I know a major upcoming release, a sequel, I believe, a major upcoming release said, no, we're just going to put it on Amazon because we're going to do better there. And they're right. It's a kid's movie. Forgive me right now. I cannot remember what it was, but it's a very popular part 2 of a kid's movie. And they're saying, no, we're going to go to Amazon. So look, this is something that the studios are going to have to deal with. I'm telling you right now, every contract moving forward for any filming is going to change. They're never going to be slaves to theaters again. But again, leave it to the executives of these studios not to figure this out. Call the actors and actresses, figure it out. All right.
I mean, I get that these contracts have kind of been like grandfathered in, but like these in particular, right? This crop of movies that were supposed to come out spring to summer of last year. I get that those contracts might be kind of stuck, but like, going forward, this has to be a thing where, I'm sorry, although supposedly now they're talking about HBO or AT&T Warner Brothers has agreed that they'll do 45-day going forward, 45-day exclusivity for the theaters. I think that's a mistake. I think it's a legit mistake, and I think that it's not up to you to prop up the floundering theater industry. Like, you got to go where your audience is. And most of us would still rather stay at home.
Here's the deal. As soon as it's safe to go out, people are going to go out again. All right. And we had a little bit of a reprieve here for the last few months, but the truth is we're not going the right direction anymore. And we knew that was going to happen. Again, everybody gets so surprised. This thing's not just going to go away with a snap of the fingers. It's going to come and go for a few years until enough people get vaccinated or enough people have had it that it can't survive anymore. That's the way it's going to be. Pandemics don't just disappear overnight. So it's going to be an endemic. Look that one up for all the at home. Endemic. All right. And I'm not kidding. That's what it's going to be. All right. And you'll have to deal with it in your local area.
Yeah. So yeah, but speaking of Venom, while we're speaking of Venom though, and moving on and things that are well, at least this isn't ending. Tom Hardy has hinted at a Venom 3, and there's also been rumors from I'm blanking out, playing Michael Morbius. Oh, I can't think of the actor who's playing Morbius in the vampire.
Jared Leto.
Thank you, Jared Leto. They've hinted at that Venom's going to cross over, going to be appearing in Morbius as Sony tries to continue to build this ancillary Spider-Man universe with these other characters.
Once the multiverse launches, they can do whatever they want. That's why they're doing it. Let's just be honest. That's why they're doing it. Them and DC. DC is very much copying Marvel with the multiverse, even though they announced it first.
Right.
You know, like I said, you could already tell DC's hoping that Flashpoints could be like the multiverse, right? And Marvel's like, here's 25,000 TV shows and a whole phase just so you can get used to this.
Yeah, and then they can pull over Venom, and they can do all this other stuff with Sony, and like,
Here's a cartoon we made called What If. Here's a show called Loki. Here's the entire phase 4.
Yeah.
All right. You think the multiverse is gonna close after phase 4? You crazy. It's gonna stay open forever.
Yeah, no. It's gonna it's they've opened Pandora's box, but they've smartly built up to it. I mean, to be fair, at least their TV shows, DC did as well. The problem is that the CW TV shows resonate with only a very particular audience.
Well, they did it great on CW, right?
Yes.
And to be fair, the first cinematic multiverse was in DC when the Flash from the films appeared in the TV show Flash. I'll give them credit for that.
Yes.
But
DC, was John
this is
ship,
DC. Okay, audience, listen. You know how Marvel did that thing with the multiverse? It's just like that. That's exactly what they're gonna do, right? They're like, you already know it because Marvel paved the way. Again, look, I always go back and forth on this, Ray. Just not to open up this box, but it's like people were saying DC shouldn't try and be Marvel, but then people are like, but do it as good as Marvel. That's what people at DC are always trying to say. So, you know, when DC kind of owns their own space, they'll be fine. The trick is this: they make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars every time they release something. So why would they change? Right? They're making hundreds of $millions on every film. So they're going to keep making hot messes till we stop paying for it.
That's fair. That's why I don't usually watch them too much.
By the way, what's James Gunn directing next?
Or wait for. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. He's back to Guardians. Yeah.
Right back to Marvel. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
As soon as Marvel was apologized, it was like, we made a mistake. Please come back. And he's like, okay. Like, So but he was very complimentary for DC, by the way. He was very complimentary.
My favorite quote of his, because this only happens in DC. They apparently Snyder fans were trying to drop the score on Rotten Tomatoes because they don't like anything that's not the Snyderverse because that's ridiculous. So I love it. They go to James Gunn. They go, "What are your feelings on the fact that the Snyderverse fans are dropping the score?" And like a boss, he goes, "Yeah, I'll live."
Yeah.
It just shows how much he cares about that. Like, yeah, I'll live.
Yeah.
Movie's done, guys. It's out there.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do.
He got paid. He's good.
He got paid a lot of money, and he went right back to Marvel.
Yeah. He double dipped. He's
so
the only
Idris
person
Elba.
I can think of that got away with the double dip.
And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna bring Heimdall back." Right. See you later.
Yeah.
That's record Idris Elba.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's funny how much Disney's got Hollywood by the balls right now. It does. It is what
everybody.
It is. Like,
you know why? Because Disney's awesome.
Folks who might be in danger, you might be putting folks in danger. Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar. This is something that's been rumored. There have been rumors that they were going to do a Vice City remake for a long time, but now, not that just doing a Vice City remake, they are doing a trilogy remake. GTA 3, San Andreas, and Vice City will all be remade. Supposedly, this is the rumor. It has not been officially announced, but Rockstar is looking to put out a remaster trilogy within the next 6 months. And I know I, for one, am super pumped if this is true. I am hopeful, fingers crossed, especially if they tie it into GTA Online. It'll only be a bigger moneymaker for them to tie it into the current GTA Online atmosphere and that consistent world. Plus, I haven't played those games in forever. I would love to play remasters of them on this generation. And again, it would also buy time until GTA 6 comes out in 2025. Lee, what are your thoughts on a remaster trilogy? Since that seems to be the thing right now with Mass Effect and Assassin's Creed and everybody else remastering everything.
You want to know my thoughts? You want to know what I think they should do?
Yeah.
Game Pass it and earn yourself new fans for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
No need for me to buy it again. Put it on Game Pass. Get your fans for the next 20 years.
That's true. That's a possibility.
And I'd love to play Vice City again.
Yeah. Oh, I would absolutely. Yeah, I would absolutely love to go to all of those again. I think it'd be fantastic, and I think that. Yeah, I think again, anytime you do a 3-in-1, I think is a great thing, and a full remaster in the new
remaster it and put it out for free and let people fall in love with the franchise again. Again, perfect lead up to GTA 6, I believe. Yes.
Yes, GTA 6 in 2025.
Dude, listen,
especially if the rumors are true that it takes place in one of those three
City.
Locations.
Yeah. So I would Game Pass it 100%. I'd put it out there for free or very low cost. And just get people into it again. Again, Nintendo is one of the few that can pull off remakes. And Resident Evil as a franchise has done that too. But this one, I would just give it. I mean, we give it away, earn some fans. A lot of people look. There's a lot of people who haven't played Vice City now. A lot of young gamers have not played that game.
That's very true.
All right,
that's very true.
I think Vice City came out in 2002, 2003.
I was gonna say it's been and it's been probably 20 years too from GTA 3. So
that's what I'm trying to say. Like remaster and put them out. Those are games people would love to play. People have been begging for a new game. If you remaster them, it's gonna be like Vice City's that good. All right. So just GTA 3 was okay. All right. I mean, look, at the time it was amazing, but when Vice City came out, it was like, oh wow.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what I would say is remaster it, Game Pass it, or $9.99 or whatever. Right. Right. I got to tell you this. I wasn't going to bring this up. I beat a game yesterday.
Oh, what'd you beat?
I bought a game and I beat it in one day, and it was perfect. It was Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've been trying to play that game for a long time. It was a Sonic Adventure. Wait a minute, is this a game you haven't played?
I am not familiar. Sayonara Wild Hearts. I'm not.
Yeah. It's not a new game. All right. So Sayonara Wild Hearts. It's an album-based game. It's heavily involved with music. It's very simple controls. It's nothing super hard to play. But the whole game is kind of an album, and it's incredibly visual. That's what I'll say. But I mean, look, this is a game
I have heard of this. I have heard of this.
It was really fun. Queen Latifah does the voiceover in the game, or I should say the narrator. Again, I beat it in a few hours, but it was perfect. I was kind of looking to do something. I did it. My son and I watched it, and I got a high five from him after we beat it. Again, very, very, very easy, simple gameplay. This is nothing to write home about, but I don't beat games too often. I told you 4 titles a year is usually what I beat. It pales in comparison to raise 6,475,362 games a year, 63 games a year. 64 games a year.
I slowed down recently because a couple of games came out that were kind of slogs. They didn't really get my attention too much, but I finally beat this weekend Neo: The World Ends With You, which is the long-awaited sequel to The World Ends With You. And the wait was not worth it. It was not a very good sequel. I was very disappointed with it. And I'll say this: there were some interesting swerves in the late part of the game, but there's not giving much away, but there's a big reveal maybe midway through the first game. And now that you're playing with a whole new cast of characters, the same parameters are there.
Right.
They didn't change that first twist. So when those characters find the twist about a third of the way through now, it's not as impactful because you already know what that twist is. It's like, oh, I already saw this once before with the first cast of characters.
Right.
So, but I get it as well because there's a lot of folks who missed the first one and now played only the second. They thought it was great. And I'm like, no, I played the first one. This didn't work for me. I felt like the first third of the game was kind of like just a rehash. That's a lot of gameplay just be considered a rehash.
Right. Well,
so it did not resonate with me as much.
So this is what I'll say. If you're looking just for an evening game that you're not going to have to go in an open world for 6 months, Sayonara Wild Hearts is a game you can get on all platforms, including your phone. My only suggestion is if you're going to play this game, play it on a screen where you can really see it because it is visually stunning. I'm going to say that. And a place you can really listen to it because it's heavily dependent on the music. I mean, that was one of the things I really loved about it. I mean, they say it right at the beginning. This game is an album, and you need to think about it like that. But but this is the question I have: is I don't know the answers. Are you going to be able to handle the fact that I've beaten a game that you haven't? And then can you deal with that? And then the next thing is, if you do play it, are you just going to pan it because I beat it?
I'll give it a fair shake, but I probably won't play it.
No, that's fair. I can live with knowing that I've done something you haven't in gaming. It's not a shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, there's
It's an older game.
Yeah. It is a little older at this point, but there's literally 1,000 games that come out a year now, right?
Right.
And a lot of them are obviously, even if you just took the great titles, there's probably 100. And even I can only play and beat now at this point. I beat 50, one a week. Yeah. I beat 50 to 55 a year.
I think you're on pace to do more than that this year, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, this year I am going to beat that for sure.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, I really, joking aside, I'm not trying to challenge it. If you're looking just for an evening, quick, easy game, mindless, that's going to let you zone out for a bit, Sayonara Wild Hearts is a phenomenal game. I think it's only $12 right now on Switch. It was worth it to me, right? And then you get the album as part of it. You can kind of download that. So anyway, I don't beat games too often, right? So I thought I'd tell you about that.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. What would you give it as a score?
Man, I'll tell you what. I mean, look, if a 10 is Ocarina of Time.
Right.
I mean, it's so hard, right? Because it was so short. You know what I mean? It's a very different game and it was very experimental. I mean, I really enjoyed it, Ray. I might give that an 8. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I really had fun with it. Yeah. I mean, it could have been longer. Like it's one of those things. I actually could have played that a few nights in a row. Right. But it wasn't meant to be that way. Right. So I would just give it an 8. It was enjoyment. Maybe a medium replay factor. You know what I mean? Medium, because there are some unlockables and stuff like that. But from a visual and audio standpoint, which are really my things, I really loved it.
Oh, that's good. That's good that you that's good that you enjoyed it. I would give The World Ends With You a 6.5, which is far below the average for most other folks, but I know what I'm talking about.
You do.
So
you do. No one can combat you on that. Not one person.
I would be happy to, I'm giving the spoiler-free review. I would be happy if somebody else play. I would happily debate them why they liked it more than me, and I would happily destroy them.
This is what I'll say just in closing. Okay, I don't get too attached to characters anymore. Like when I was a kid, I played Zelda, and Link was my world, right? Or you play some of these other games like Kirby, and I mean like Kirby, Mario. Like you get lost in those worlds, and even with Breath of the Wild, I wasn't getting lost in that world. My son did, but it was awesome. Don't get me wrong, that game's awesome. But this one kind of captured me a bit. I was really into it. You know what I mean? And I appreciated that after many years of the last game that I got into like that. I played Avengers. I didn't get into it like that. The last game I got into was probably Fallen Order, Star Wars Fallen Order. I really cared about the characters in that one. But this was a special experience. It was very different. So if anybody wants to try it, I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't happen for me too much either. I'm playing a game, Axiom Verge 2, right now. That's close to that. It's like an old school Metroid game.
Right.
In that gameplay, but I think Fallen Order was up there. I think a game called Control, which was my 2019 game of the year, was really up there. I would say at points Resident Evil 8 elicited those feelings, but yeah, they're fewer and farther between now than they used to be. I don't know if that's us as more experienced gamers. I don't know if that's a lack of good storytelling right now in games.
No, I think look, I think part of it is, we're not kids anymore, right? I don't mean that in a bad way. So, we don't have the time to get emotionally invested, and something really has to startle us to get us invested, right? Now, Star Wars is a little different for both of us. It's a universe we're heavily involved in. The Avengers game, it's tough to connect to because it's like a mirror universe of the films. So it's you're always just kind of oh, that's not Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, this one was all about music. I'm heavily into music and visuals and stuff like that. So I think that it's got to be a storyline that either I'll give you Yuri and the Will of the Wisps, so an older game again. For some reason that one connected with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, no, that was a beautiful game. And again, speaking of that, was a great Metroidvania as well. Great story, great visuals, absolutely terrific. That was a terrific Ori. I love Ori for sure.
Right.
By the way, quick shout out to Sonic, who just joined us in chat and also let us know that the Yankees just won, which is a huge win for them. And the 2-run home run by Joey Gallo stepped up, and that allows us to transition down to sports. Speaking of baseball, see, look at that. I worked. I made it work. Baseball, a lot of stuff going on in baseball this week. Before we get to the Field of Dreams game, the big news is that ESPN is dropping Monday and Wednesday night baseball next season. I can't imagine why. Probably because nobody's watching. Let's see. And Sonic, thank you for the compliment in chat. We appreciate that, buddy.
Well, read it for the people, Ray.
Sonic says in chat, says that this is an awesome podcast and talk show. It's the first podcast I can actually listen to the whole thing. We really appreciate that, Sonic.
Yes,
thank you very, very much.
I do appreciate that.
That really does mean a lot. We've been getting a lot of compliments lately, and we appreciate them. We appreciate them all.
And this is a bad time to tell you all this is the last episode of Geeks. I can't even say it with a straight face. No, and that's why we're ending the show. No, we're not even close to being done. They're just getting started.
We're close to being done. But yeah, so there's a rumor that Barstool might pick up the MLB games. There's also been rumors that Peacock and NBC Sports might be looking to pick them up. There's also been rumors that YouTube might want to pick up or expand their baseball offering. Right now, YouTube does a game a week through MLB.tv. But Barstool specifically wants to because there's rumors that they want to work with some of the gambling sites. And I'm going to say this. While that makes a lot of sense, you're seeing a lot of that kind of stuff now with football and whatnot. If baseball were to do that, the sport that swears that gambling is its cardinal sin, Pete Rose better be in the Hall of Fame the next day. I swear to Christ. I swear. If Pete Rose, if they start doing stuff with like DraftKings and all this game, really start leaning into the gambling side of things with baseball, Pete Rose better be in the Hall of Fame the next day. I'm saying it right now, or I'm gonna burn it down. I swear. I'll go to Iowa and burn down their whole special Field of Dreams. All that corn. We'll pop all that corn, baby. Pete Rose better be in the Hall of Fame. If Barstool gets the baseball
popcorn,
contract,
Ray. Thanks.
Popcorn's great. But yeah, honestly, yeah. So those are my thoughts on this. Again, the ratings are down for ESPN and they're all these baseball games that they've been carrying.
By the way, what sports going to ESPN? What sports going to ESPN and replacing?
I was just about to say, and it's going to be funny that probably I could imagine those April games that for baseball now, those time slots will be taken up by late season hockey games.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Again, though, I'm all for Barstool and new media taking on old school sports. But again, the hypocrites at baseball, at Major League Baseball, if you're going to do one thing, do the right thing and go all the way with it. So that's my thoughts on this.
I just
Sonic agrees. Pete Rose, Hall of Fame.
I just like watching how far Major League Baseball can jam their product down the toilet. How deep can you go in the proverbial toilet of sports before you're just going to realize it's clogged and you need a plunger? There's a metaphor for you. And I got nothing against Barstool. This has nothing to do with them. Major League Baseball is a joke to me, not baseball. I always have to clarify this for the audience. I would go as far to say love baseball, but I cannot stand Major League Baseball. For those of you listening, this might be your first episode with me. I'm on strike for Major League Baseball, and I'm serious about it. And I am not a lighthearted baseball fan. I enjoy my baseball teams. I just am so mad about the way that Major League Baseball is being run. I'll get into this Iowa game in a minute, the Field of Dreams game, because I've got some thoughts on that too, Ray. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that, again, whatever you think about Barstool, whatever, the point is that they're looking into new media for some of these games per week, and I think that is the right thing to do. Honestly, I think that with all these blackouts that make it impossible for a lot of places to watch even their home games, I think baseball should lower the price of MLB.TV from like $60 or $70 a year, make it like $9.99, and pull away from regular basic television.
How much you want to bet they're the last sport to make major changes in this? Even though they were at the forefront of technology, they'll be the last sport to come.
MLB Advanced Media is fantastic. But yeah.
By the way, guess who just left MLB Advanced Media?
Who?
The NHL, because MLB Advanced Media was running in the NHL, and then they got involved with ESPN, and Disney said, "You know what? We'll take a crack at it." All right.
Yeah, so, we'll take it from here.
Yeah. So, man, they're in trouble, man. If they don't figure this out, they're in trouble. I feel like we're watching global warming. Just like, there's nothing wrong. Nothing's going on. Nothing's wrong. But there's a fire tornado over there. Don't worry about the fire tornado. But there's a drought in Colorado. Who needs water in Colorado? Come on. That's what it feels like I'm watching right now, right? But the polar ice caps are melting. Oh, come on. They've always been melting. What's wrong with you? That's what it feels like I'm watching right now. There's nothing wrong. It's baseball.
Yeah. So as Sonic says in the chat, and as we agree here,
I'll read it with you. I'll read it with you. Rob Manfred is a
joke.
Joke.
Yes.
Horrible. Yeah, worst commissioner I've ever seen.
So
in my lifetime.
Yes.
In my lifetime, there's been way worse commissioners of baseball than him.
For sure. Yeah. So speaking of baseball, but their desperate attempt to garner an audience this week, they did in Iowa between the Yankees and the White Sox for the 30th anniversary or close to. It's actually like the 32nd or 33rd anniversary of Field of Dreams. They had Kevin Costner lead the Yankees and the White Sox, and actually some very nice looking old timey uniforms through the cornfields, and 8,000 people watched live. People scalped the tickets, made thousands upon thousands of dollars for these overpriced tickets to go sit in some bad bleachers in a cornfield in Iowa to pay tribute to a mediocre movie with two teams that one of them wasn't even involved.
That was a good movie. That wasn't a mediocre movie.
It had some pacing issues.
It's a good movie. It's not a mediocre film. I will admit that was a fun movie. There's way worse baseball movies than that.
I don't know. There's a lot more baseball movies I think I would watch before Field of Dreams.
I'm not doubting that, but Field of Dreams is a fun film. I enjoyed that movie a lot.
I don't think it's fun.
I love that movie.
I think it's sad and depressing. Honestly,
at times that's true too.
Yeah. But honestly, the point is I'm getting at is that all the teams the Yankees weren't in the film. The Red Sox were. And of course, the Black Sox scandal was the White Sox versus the Reds. So again, baseball it's obvious baseball desperately trying to garner the largest market instead of actually appealing to, actually staying accurate, because let's not acknowledge the fact that the movie was based on the Black Sox scandal. And so let's not redo the 1919 World Series. Let's sweep that under the rug and let's just it's a celebration of baseball. It's a celebration. Next year, Monkey, will be Reds Cubs. Yes, but again, what I'm saying is this year should have been Reds White Sox because they're gonna turn this into an annual thing, which is like, all right, whatever. But again, if you're paying homage to Field of Dreams, the Black Sox scandal of 1919 was the White Sox versus the Reds, right? And I think that you are, again, trying to avoid your history here and cheapen it in a way by turning this into just another stupid spectacle. I didn't like it also sucked. I hated, of course, that the Yankees lost. And I hate the fact that these games that at this point, again, I'm going to say this, though. If you're going to do the Field of Dreams game, I would say this. Don't do it in August. Do it in April when the games matter. The games don't matter less, but you're fighting for playoff positions. You're fighting for this, and you don't need the players to be distracted by all this hoopla and the tools and at Fox dressed with bow ties and bowler hats as they make jerks of themselves on air, gushing over Kevin Costner, which he deserves, but probably not in this forum. I like Frank Thomas. Everybody else dressed like tools. Frank Thomas was like, "No, I'm wearing a suit and tie because it's 2021. I'm a broadcaster now." I had issues with. I thought the Field of Dreams game was just like whatever. Like I really didn't care. I'm more mad that the Yankees lost. That's what I cared about. Lee, what are your thoughts?
You're flirting with a Ray rant here. I'm just seeing what's going to happen. I don't want you to do that to your voice. This is what I'm going to say, Ray. A few things. Number one, this is before I get into the game itself. Any baseball fan that gives hockey crap for the Winter Classic, but love this is a hypocrite. All right?
That's 100% true.
You're a hypocrite. This is no different than the Winter Classic. It's not a meaningless game, but it's a regular season game that has a lot of hoopla around it, Ray, as you put it. Okay, so if you love this one, stop ragging on the Winter Classic. I'm talking to you sports fans that hate hockey for no reason other than it's cool to do that. I've never done that to baseball. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I've always looked at all sports equally. All right. So that's my number one point I'm going to make because they are very similar. And look, it's called what it is. You can't like the baseball one and hate the hockey one. All right. They are equally as not important. All right.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say to you about this game. The problem that I've had with Major League Baseball over the last few years is their inability to separate revenues from cheating, and the fact that they do not punish people strongly enough for cheating in their game, and that they have taken the integrity of their game and shoved it down the toilet. In my opinion, I have lost my love for Major League Baseball because of that. And Ray will tell you this: I loved Major League Baseball. It has broken my heart too many times. Okay, I was an avid Phillies fan. I still am in a way. I just haven't watched them all year, including recently. And people are like, "Oh, you get tempted now that they're in first?" No, I have not been watching. That is where I'm at. To prey on my youth, I know. To prey on my youth, to pick a fantasy baseball film, which I really love. To do the opening that you did, which was phenomenal, by the way. I'm not gonna lie about that. The opening with Kevin Costner and the play was phenomenal. It was well done. You play on that fantasy to try and get me to come back to a game that is incredibly flawed right now. And I'm not having it. Nice try, baseball. It was beautiful. I'll give you that. I need to keep Field of Dreams separated from you because you're killing everything I love about the sport. So I don't want to watch you do this. It was a wonderful game. It was beautiful. I bet it was. And now we're back to the same thing. I can't support a league that does not punish cheaters to the level in which they're cheating. I can't do it. You broke my heart with steroids. You broke my heart with the way the World Series has been done. I've had enough. I've had enough. And again, it's a Field of Dreams. Great. Okay. It's corn. I mean, like you're playing on the emotions of the film to get me to watch baseball. This is what I sincerely wish, Ray. I really mean this. I wish baseball or Major League Baseball wasn't so screwed up so I could have enjoyed that game. Right. But I just feel like they're playing on my youth to do that. What's next? You use the Sandlot? That movie's a fantasy. The movie is a fantasy.
That's why they're doing the Little League game now in Williamsport. Actually, later this year.
I'm tired of it. All right, like and here's the thing. This is this is why the Winter Classic's actually kind of cool because it goes back to the roots of the game of playing outside. All right. Right. That's why I've always liked that. It's like, the game started outside, so this makes sense, right? We're not saying this is the Stanley Cup final. All right. You know what the difference is, Ray? The NHL is not known for cheating. All right. In fact, I'm not quite sure there's ever been a cheating scandal in the NHL. There was one guy that got caught with steroids. I don't think there's ever been a cheating scandal in the NHL, to my knowledge, in modern history. All right. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. First off, this is a game that should have happened a long time ago, technically. All right. Yeah. I'm happy Kevin Costner was there. It's the most watched Major League regular season game in some time. I think since the 9/11 game, if I'm not mistaken. All right. I don't know, man. This is the other thing about baseball, Ray, that kills me. Outside of Tani, who's awesome. All right. Yeah. Which is the best story of the season, in my opinion, by far. It's the little things that bug me. This is something I don't get. People are like, oh, did you see that the outfielder came in to pitch tonight? Are you really talking like that's okay? Not one time, like it happens all the time. Like, oh,
now it's a strategy. It's basically a coach giving up on the game.
You're okay with this baseball. Major League Baseball fans are okay with this. That's number one. Or you'll see, oh, another guy got dinged in the head tonight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. From an outside looking in, dude, it looks insane to me what people are willing to settle for in this game. They're settling for it. I mean, it looks like a joke to me. A joke. I just can't imagine any other sport where stuff like this ridiculous crap happens. Or like we talked about it on last week's show, umpires missing obvious strikes in balls.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
How
that
can
was
you? Oh,
that
it's
was
funny.
also, by the way,
It's funny.
it's
Give
not
me a
funny. I
break.
hate that. I'm so done with that element of the game, and especially in the Field of Dreams game, because they got rid of the electronic strike zone for this game, so they weren't the home plate umpire was not being monitored, at least on television. It was the worst strike zone I had seen in years.
Right.
It was inconsistent. It really, actually, I mean, you want to talk about a game that was like the integrity of that game. Oh,
but it's magical.
Was in question
but
because
Ray,
the home plate umpire was so terrible.
Magical, Ray.
It wasn't magical.
I've had enough. I'm going to say this. I say this every episode. They are the boyfriend or girlfriend that is cheating on you, and you keep going back. All right. And I say this too. I get it. I actually get it. I understand people that love baseball where they keep going back, but I'm going to say it again. I'll say this every damn episode. No one, not one person has given me a good reason to come back to the game. Not one person, because there's no reason. You are a slave to that league, just like I'm a slave to the NHL, to be fair. All right. And you'll watch whatever crap they put out there. All right. And I just not going to do it. And again, I don't want to feel the way I felt with Mark McGwire again. I don't want to feel the way I felt about hearing about the Astros cheating and nothing happened. I don't want to hear the way I felt about knowing that pitchers can cheat and miss a start or two. Are you serious? The NCAA bans you for life, used to, if you took a hot dog from someone for free.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, man. I want to love Major League Baseball again. It's going to take a while.
The integrity of the game, they're desperately playing on, like, going back to your point of nostalgia to try and keep people around. But again, this is why you are, the old baseball fan average age is getting older and older, because young people are not get less and less young people are getting involved or falling in love with the game, because the game lacks integrity.
And it's boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's boring, and there's things
that it is. I mean, it is. I mean, and part of it is, and look, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it's the broadcasters and I'm not talking I'm talking all the broadcasters, by the way. This is my chance to rant. This is why I call my games like a wrestling match. Have some fun, show some excitement, have some passion. Joe, but you had set like 6 lead changes between the Yankees and the White Sox, and Joe Buck made you think it was just a regular outside pitch. Like, I can't, oh God, I can't stand Joe Buck. He is the worst, most boring broadcaster in all of baseball. And the fact that he is the national voice of the game makes me want to throw up every time. I mute him. I mute the TV. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to the broadcast at all.
Yeah, right.
Because it's just that
we
bad.
can prove this right now. All right. I'll be play by play. You be color. We'll only be able to pull this off for 30 seconds. This is how boring it's going to be. 3-2 pitch. Struck him out inside corner.
You want me to do how I would do it now?
No. You just do the normal color. I'm trying to make a pointer on the podcast. This is how boring it is. Ray, what did you think about that last pitch?
Oh, it was a perfect pitch. He paints the outside corner. It just, the precision that is required for a pitcher to paint the corner like that up 3-2. It's just masterful. Absolutely.
Now coming up to bat, number 9, Caitlin Reese. Caitlin has a 3.7 thousand. You can't keep doing it.
I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
You go to any other sport. Football, baseball. No, not this sport.
Not baseball. Basketball, hockey, football. The announcers get excited. They get hyped up. And a lot of times in baseball, you don't get hype from guys when there should be hype. Like, it just, I mean, now mind you, there's also time. I mean, look, I have a lot of criticism about baseball announcers because it is, again, my favorite sport, and it is something that I wanted to do for a very, very long time. I mean, there are some folks now who will become caricatures of themselves too. There's the folks who get, so excited that, John Sterling, as much as I loved him growing up, the cartoon calls for every Yankee who has a nickname now, it's kind of ridiculous. It's a bit much. I think that I don't know. Like, you have a signature and you stick to it. I think. I don't know. I just the game is in trouble. It makes me really, really worried. I'm genuinely concerned. I really didn't care about the Field of Dreams game, again, soured by the fact that the Yankees lost. I'm not going to deny that. But honestly, even when they were winning, even when they were winning in that game, I just didn't care. I just was like, it's another game in the standings. And I wish that they were in Chicago, so they didn't have this hoopla around, so they could focus on the dang playoff
Winter
race.
Classic. That's all it is. It's baseball's Winter Classic, and they're going to do it again.
Yeah, that's it. It's become a regular thing. Like the chat said, it's going to be Reds versus Cubs next year. Big whoop.
Big draw.
Do not care. Anyway, speaking of something that was the big draw, actually, a few weeks ago, the NFL Hall of Fame had their ceremonies. Of course, a great class this year. This was a fun stat. There were some great speeches. Guys like Peyton, of course, took shots at Tom Brady, which was funny, and but I thought it was just interesting. Calvin Johnson, of course, now Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, played a great 10-year career. Retired young because he got tired of losing, as much like Barry Sanders in Detroit. He was drafted after Tom Brady, played the entirety of his career, and was elected into the Hall of Fame before Tom Brady was retired. Think about that. That's a 15-year period that you had a dude get drafted, start his career, play a Hall of Fame career, make it into the Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer, I believe he was first ballot, and Tom Brady's still going. I thought that was a really fun statistic. I can't ever think of something like that ever happening before. Lee, you have any thoughts on the NFL Hall of Fame ceremony and game and all that other stuff there?
I thought it was really interesting to watch Peyton Manning almost cry, but he held it together in true Peyton Manning style. It was cool to see Tom Brady there actually to support him. I thought that was a really big moment that was kind of undersold a little bit. They focused more on the fact that it was Tom Brady. I mean, that's his mutual, that's his worthy rival in a lot of different ways. I think it was a big deal that he was there.
When Peyton won his, he had to go through Tom, and it was a big deal.
Right. And I also love that it forces the stat of showing Tom Brady's career in halves and realizing that both of them are Hall of Fame careers. I'm going to say it again. You gotta turn the hate down on Tom Brady, everybody. And this is now, it's beyond greatness. You're looking at legendary type stuff. And I'm not saying you got to root for the Bucks or anything like that, but you gotta appreciate greatness, especially towards the end of its career, because we are not going to see a quarterback like that. I mean, maybe ever. Probably ever again. You might not see anything like this ever again. I mean, he does have a few more records to break. All right, he's still, I believe, he has MVPs to beat Michael Jordan with and Super Bowls, and you're talking the greatest stuff of all time. He'll never have as many goals as Wayne Gretzky, of course. I think he's one start away from 300 starts, which is building on his own record, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think he has a few thousand yards to go to have the all-time record. Or something like that. Like there's something.
I think it's only a few hundred now with Breeze retiring. I think it's only a few hundred.
I mean, there's a few records left. I'll put it that way. But I mean, you're looking at a legend who apparently did it right. Apparently did it right. So, look, man, I'm an Eagles fan. I have plenty of reason to hate Tom Brady. I just don't anymore. It's kind of withered away. You got to know greatness when you're seeing it. That goes for LeBron. That goes for Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. It goes for anybody in that realm right now that's in the later years of their career. You have to try and enjoy it while you can, because you don't know if you're going to see it again.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true. So that was a good thing. Speaking of all-time greats, just another quick story, throw it out there. Lionel Messi, of course, the great soccer player for Barcelona, signed with Paris Saint-Germain. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This week, PSG. That is a big deal for him to move. Obviously, supposed to be a lifer in Barcelona. He'll finish his career now in Paris.
You're gonna make so much money in Paris.
He's gonna make. He's gonna make.
That organization is gonna make an incredible amount of money.
Oh yeah, I mean, already I think his jerseys have been sold out. Yeah, it was a big deal for, if you're an international soccer fan, which I admit it is not my wheelhouse, but even this story was big enough where I was like, we need to talk about this because it is arguably the greatest, definitely the greatest modern player, I would say. You can always make arguments with Pele or whatever.
Yeah, with Ronaldo.
We're right up there for sure. But I think that, Messi finally won an international championship this year with Argentina. In the South American Cup, the Gold Cup. think it's the Gold Cup. But big deal for him now to leave Barcelona after so many years. It's gonna be weird not seeing him in the purple and red and gold, and now he'll be wearing Paris's colors instead. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with his time there. So
yeah, it's a big move. I mean, like he tried everything to stay where he was. He tried to I think he tried to cut his contract in half, and it still couldn't keep him. So who knows? Maybe this will be good for the sport.
Maybe, and then when Messi's like 50, 55, he'll come to America and play 2 years for the LA Galaxy. It still runs circles around everyone. So the game is not where it is not comparable here compared to Europe and South America. It's a fact. Another other fun story, international story. This is the Olympics. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago that the gold medals are silver with gold plating. And in Japan, a mayor of the town, as the returning athlete, one of the women's athletes in Japan who got a gold medal, returned. She got, I think, like the key to the town or whatever for representing them, and the mayor did it, and she showed him her medal, and he decided to do the joke of like biting on the medal to see how real it was, and he bit so hard that he left teeth marks in the gold plating, ruining the gold medal. Fortunately, one of the good things the IOC has decided to do is they said they will, at no cost to the athlete, replace the gold medal ASAP and ship it to her for our bonehead of the week, this Japanese mayor who decided to actually bite the gold medal that his local athlete won and leave permanent teeth marks on it. I hope that she holds on to that though and sells it and probably makes a pretty penny or melts it down or whatever and gets herself a nice little bonus. But yeah, so I thought that was one of those fun bonehead stories.
It was, yeah. Another bonehead story is we all know America has won the medal count in all three categories. We have more gold, silver, and bronze than any other country. Apparently, I believe Japan is upset about that and now trying to change one of the gold medals so it's theirs and not ours, thus winning the Olympics. Thus, international politics once again rearing its ugly heads into what is not supposed to be a politically motivated contest of the wills.
Which is why the Olympics are a joke, and they should probably.
I will say I'm very proud that this country, our country, Ray America, really did represent again, and we are one of the best, and I am proud to live here. Anyway, keep going.
Yes. So last story, we should think of a mashup, Lee. We should.
I did. I already did. It's in your text messages right now. This is what I do. Mid episode, come up with it. It's a good one. I see that you have now read it. It's a fair one, and you like it.
It's a good one.
I do what I do.
Yes.
I do what I do. And if you're listening to this live on Twitch, you better wait. You better stick around because it's a good matchup. Because you need to hear your answers on this as well. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you're in for the long haul if you're at this point anyway.
Yes, that is true. Last story before we get to the mashup. Wrestling. Quick wrestling update. This is a big deal. It's going to be a big week for wrestling. I am super excited. Things are changing again in the wrestling landscape. We've talked about this. I've been watching a lot more wrestling lately, trying to just get a feel for the landscape in general. WWE sucks right now. I'm not gonna lie. It is really bad. Raw is bad. NXT to me is becoming a shell of what it once was. Clearly, it feels like Vince has gotten his hands in that. SmackDown right now is the best show, but that's mostly because Cena has come back, and also the women's division continues to absolutely be great there. But this is a big deal. We talked about this. This was a story. Ric Flair was released from his WWE contract a few weeks ago, and immediately he showed up with his son-in-law Andrade at AAA Lucha Libre in Mexico during the Triple Mania 29. It's their WrestleMania down there as Andrade challenged Kenny Omega for the AAA Lucha Libre Championship. And this is just showing again that outside of WWE, we are starting to this is a return to the territory era. For those of you who don't know, it used to be that you had WWE was in the Northeast, you had WCW in the South, which actually was WCW at the time. You had Smoky Mountain in kind of like Kentucky, Tennessee area. You had Stampede, which was up in Canada, Calgary, run by Stu Hart, right? Like that's where the Hart Dungeon comes from. Bret the Hitman Hart, his whole family comes out there. You had the West Coast. You had a lot of guys in LA. You had the Rockies. You had Puerto Rico had its own, and then you had Hawaii also had its own. A lot of islands. Everything was very territorial. It's why guys like Andre the Giant were so big, because Andre would even though WWE was like his home, he would travel on loan to all these different companies when he could, and it would boost wrestling across the board. Until Vince Jr., well, he's not technically Jr., but Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the Mr. McMahon that we know now, basically bought everybody out and pushed everybody else out of business, right? Basically, though, this is kind of proving again what AEW started with their pact with Impact, with New Japan, with, of course, I forgot, Japanese wrestling, of course, has always been very, very huge as well. You had, New Japan, Impact, AAA, Lucha Libre, what they've started to do. NWA, of course, you had the NWA and NWA, of course, obviously, Northwestern, all these different wrestling federations. They're more popping into my head as I'm talking. As AEW has started to trade and send their wrestlers all over, and now you've got guys like Ric Flair showing up in Mexico for the AAA championship to be in the corner of Andrade, and you're starting to see guys. You saw on AEW the Impact World Heavyweight Championship this week change hands. Which, by the way, for folks who are saying, "Oh, this is just gonna be a stupid 1-hour show," they had 3 title matches. The 1-hour show was 3 title matches. One from another program. You saw a massive title change with an amazing match between Christian Cage, who you might know better just as Christian from WWE, and Kenny Omega. You're starting to see now the return to the territory era in wrestling, and this is a big, big deal. And if WWE is not careful, and if the rumor is true, and it really does look like it's going to happen, that CM Punk shows up at AEW this week in Chicago and joins AEW, WWE should be running scared. I get they got the coffers. I get they got all the money and the merchandising. But the worst thing that could happen to them is to get caught flat-footed and not get involved with this return to the territory era. Because what you're seeing is all these companies get stronger as they join together and chip away at the behemoth that is WWE. This is the most exciting product outside of the most exciting stuff in wrestling is happening outside WWE. It's the first time we could say that in honestly 25 years. Seriously, in 25 years. It is phenomenal to watch. It is amazing to see. Do not count out AEW because Tony Khan is just as rich as Vince McMahon. And he is willing to spend all sorts of money, it seems. And the fact that he is helping to prop up Impact and GCW in Jersey and, which has kind of become the new ECW in a lot of ways. So look it up, folks. Game Changer Wrestling is fantastic. NWA, AAA in Mexico, New Japan. Folks, this is phenomenal. And as a hardcore wrestling fan, you'll love to see it. You hate that WWE is floundering, but you'll love to see everybody else thriving. I mean, the only one they think they haven't gotten with yet is Ring of Honor. Like, honestly, it is fascinating to see wrestling in a lot of parts of this country and a lot of parts of the world returning to its roots. Hopefully just nobody gets killed like Bruiser Brody in Puerto Rico. Let's not go all the way back to those roots, but the good roots. Lee, do you have any thoughts on Ric Flair showing up in AAA Mexico?
I love the business game that's going on, and I just don't think that WWE is sitting around. I think they are planning and waiting, and they are wanting this worthy rival, and I think they are waiting for the right time when that rivalry reaches its peak state to unleash something, which I don't know what that is, but I just don't think the McMahon family or Triple H are going to sit by and let this take over their world. So I think, as you said, this is probably the best thing that's happened to wrestling in 25 years. And I think you say all the time too, the rising tide lifts all ships, and the WWE is in that. The last time this happened, they were the most popular wrestling federation in the history of wrestling. So I would not be surprised if they know what they're doing. And I like the business side of this more than the actual wrestling side. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how this plays out. We've been talking about this for over a year now. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Like, again, they're letting it happen, Ray. I don't think that this is, they're fighting it. They're letting it happen. So I'm interested to see how this plays out for sure.
It is going to be fascinating to see. But again, I think that as AEW grows stronger and as they continue to pull 1-1, which again, for cable wrestling is very, very good. I mean, I think SmackDown for WWE peaks at 1-8. As they continue to pull in big audience, I don't know what the numbers are for Rampage. I don't know if they've come in yet since Friday night. We could probably look that up maybe afterwards. I'm sure it's great because I mean that's a card you want to see. You had the Impact World Championship, the TNT Championship, and the AEW Women's World Championship all on the line. All great matches in their own right for what they wanted to do. The TNT Championship was more about telling was about a story than actually being a championship match. Again, watch what Fuego del Sol did, and it was fascinating what was going off there. I mean, for a dude who's lost 40 straight matches, you would never expect him to be so over in AEW, but he is. It's weird. It's fun. It's fantastic. It reminds me of like Santino or whatever WWE. It's fun. It's wonderful. I am so excited. This is the most excited I've been for wrestling in years, several years.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's not a WWE product.
That's a sport that has figured out how to keep its fans happy. So
yeah,
unlike
at least on the AEW side for sure, because WWE got to wake up.
That's what Major League Baseball needs is a worthy rival.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting indeed if another league popped up. Try and compete. Maybe The Rock should go make a baseball league and the XLB.
No, the RCK. We'll figure out what that means later, but that's what I would call it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh goodness! As long as I can do play-by-play for it, that's
you can. I'm hiring you right now.
Excellent. So that brings us now to our mashup, talking about worlds coming together and all this sort of stuff. This would be a good one. Which fantasy sports location would you like to see a game played at? So obviously, Field of Dreams, the field in Iowa is a fictional location that now has become a real world location. There's plenty of movies and games and whatnot that we could pull from. Lee, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I got a few. I'm not going to say the Sandlot because everyone's going to say that, but one baseball location I actually like to see a game at is it's in Buffalo, New York, but it's served in the movie called The Natural, one of my favorite sports movies of all time, where the New York Knights played. The old War Memorial Stadium up in Buffalo is where the New York Knights were. I wouldn't mind to see a game there. That would be something fun. Another one, I'd go basketball. It's not possible, but I'd love to see a basketball game on the Space Jam court. That would be pretty amazing.
I was thinking about that one too, yeah.
Right? Yeah. But my top one, Ray, I need your help for. I need you to give me 5 to 10 people in sports that you hate. Rob Manfred.
People that I hate sports.
Yeah. While you're thinking about that, go ahead, think about some names. Another one I'd like to see. This isn't really a fantasy location. It's more of a fantasy thing. I'd love to see a boxing match at the actual Coliseum in Rome. That would be cool to see. Yeah. Can't do it though.
Yeah.
All right, Ray, rattle off some names. Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
Aaron Boone. People you don't like. Just anybody.
Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Boone.
Tom Wilson. Anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in that. I'm not thinking of of the guys that I hate the most. Yeah, I mean, Tom Wilson's up there. Daniel Jones, right?
That's plenty. That's plenty. So those 6 people are put together into my next fantasy sports arena. And it's the Hunger Games arena.
Oh.
It's a fantasy sports arena. I want them in the Hunger Games arena. And here's the nice part about it. None of them are going to win.
I like that. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
Fantasy. Ray, over to you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh man, sports locations. I mean, Space Jam was the one that was obvious.
Caitlin has a great one. She says, not a place but a time. I want to play softball to help uplift the country during World War II. Thinking of like the League of Their Own, Rockford Peaches.
Yeah.
That was I can get that. That'd be a cool time period to go back to.
For some reason, I keep thinking of the Any Given Sunday, that dome stadium.
Yeah, that's not a bad one at all, man.
Yeah.
Will it be, man?
I'd want to. Yeah, I'd like to see that one. That comes to mind.
With Al Pacino coaching.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The Replacements, their football field.
Washington Sentinels.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, those I think would be
Slapshot Arena for a hocky game.
That would be a good one.
Here's one for you for the NHL. How come they've never played an NHL game in the 1980 arena?
Yeah.
Is it because it's Olympic ice? I don't know. I think they could get a great game going there.
Yeah, up in Lake Placid. Yeah.
Yeah, put the Washington Russians against the New York Rangers. I mean, the Capitals. It'd be kind of funny if Washington was representing Russia. But that'd be a great place for a game. They've never done an NHL game up there. Again, it's an Olympic rink, so I kind of get it. You have to agree on it.
They are led by a Russian, and their uniforms are red. So
I know. It's amazing. Yeah. You can play at Lake Tahoe, but not the 1980 Miracle Rink. Interesting.
Yeah. There's some real questionable decisions by a lot of our favorite leagues leadership at times.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like playing Lake Tahoe during a pandemic. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Hey,
how about this one? How about go play some basketball up in Seattle? How's that for
a Supersonic Stadium, home of the Kraken.
Yeah.
At the Climate Pledge Arena, it could be done.
Oh gosh, Caitlin says in chat, play Detroit versus the Rangers there. Yeah, I mean the Russian Five. If you could go back in time and pull them out for sure. But yeah, no, I think those are some fun ones. Those are some fun thoughts for sure. But as always, we want to know what you think. So let us know in comments below. As always, or email us, of course, geekswholikesports@gmail.com or Ray or Lee at geekswholikesports.com. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the show. It's actually been a quick show this week. But I think it was a good one.
It was
aside from my tirade, because I'm not a big fan of Field of Dreams, and I really wish the Yankees won that freaking game. I swear.
I mean, look, I'll give them this. It was not for you, Ray. It was a pretty magical ending, but it's still just like it's a regular season game. Oh, it's the greatest they like Field of Dreams. I mean, I want to find some of these hypocrites that rip on the Winter Classic. Yeah. Oh, it's okay when baseball does it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing too, is that also, I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse again. It's just one regular season game that meant more to us in the playoff standings than it does to the magic of the arena. Or whatever.
It was nicely done. I'm not gonna take away from it. It was nicely done. Way to go. Stop letting teams cheat to win the World Series.
Baseball finally didn't screw everything up.
Right. No, you needed Kevin Costner's help to do it right.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Unbelievable. But yeah, so that will do it for this episode of Geeks Like Sports, episode 119. Thank you everybody who participated in the Twitch chat tonight. Thank you everybody, of course, listening at home or on the road or wherever you may be. We're listening to us. We appreciate it as always. We'll be back, I think, to a normal schedule this week.
I don't know. We'll let you know.
We'll figure it out. Stay tuned. We'll let you know as always. And if of course at some point we got to figure out when as well. Join us at streamlines.io for episode 2 of What If. That's dropping this week. It is the T'Challa being taken to space
as Star-Lord. Yeah.
Galaxy becoming Star-Lord. That's that episode. I believe that is the episode this week.
I do too. Chadwick Boseman's final performance. So that'd be good.
Yes. So that we'll be able to talk about that next week on Geeks Who Like Sports. But yeah, for Lee, I am Ray. Thank you all so much for listening. We really, really appreciate it. And we will hopefully see you next time. Episode 120 is coming up next. That's a nice little milestone.
That's a nice number.
120. Yeah.
We'll have t-shirts.
Nice front. So until next time, good night, everybody. Be well so much. We really appreciate it.
Bye.